Hi everyone, my name is Tisa and I am Scrappin' Three Boys on Instagram, and this is my first process video. I hope you enjoy it and I hope you make it through. I decided on this layout that I was going to do some mixed media for my background, and I was going to use the collection from Pretty Little Studio called Let's Go. So I pulled out some papers that you saw earlier, and I pulled out my gloss gel and a stencil, and I added that gloss gel to my paper, just kind of in a strip down like one third of the side, and let that dry, and then I started adding some Vicki Boutin crayons. I use these, I scribble them on packaging, add a little bit of water, and then just use the packaging technique for them. I used yellow, kind of a melony orange, and a kind of aqua teal color. So once I got that on the page, you can see me doing this now, I really wasn't happy with it. It's not typical colors for me. I don't typically scrapbook with pastel colors, and so I wasn't really sure what I was going to do at this point. So I took some time, I put the layout away, came back, and decided I needed something more. I needed another color that I scrapped with often in order for me to feel comfortable with the layout. And this is when I decided to get out another stencil, and I think it's coming up here. I'm sorry, I'm a little bit ahead. My first voiceover and I'm not sure what I'm doing. And I don't think I showed the stenciling on, I forgot to start recording when I actually added the stencil with the Tim Holtz Distress Oxide ink, and it's one of the blue colors. So I ended up adding that, and I felt so much better about the layout once I added that. I started pulling out some of the embellishments and trying to see what I was going to do. I knew I wanted to use some of these clouds, but I just really didn't know what yet I was going to do with this. So here I am just pulling out pieces and trying to figure it out. And usually when I start a layout, I either pick a collection or I pick a photo and I just go for it. This was the collection. So I had to start figuring out what I was going to do. I didn't use a sketch or anything for this. I just started playing with pieces and kind of figuring out what embellishments I was going to use first. Then, if I don't know where to go from there, I either cut up paper into chunks, or in this case, I started ripping some paper strips. And there was one of the paper strips that said amazing on it. So I thought, okay, I can use this as part of my title. So I used that and played around some more and decided I would layer those up. And eventually after moving everything around the page, which seemed to take forever, I decided to put the mixed media going in a vertical direction, and then starting to layer. There you can see my ink. I'm sorry, I don't know when I added the ink. I guess it was after I pulled the embellishments. But it made such a huge difference for me. Look at the difference with the blue added on there. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just boys and I needed blue in there. I don't know. And then I thought I need to ground this layout. So I got some just blue cardstock from my stash, and I love how that grounded the whole page. And this is where I decided I want it vertical. I want my mixed media to be vertical, and then I'm going to kind of do an L-shape design, and I'm going to use my strips of paper that I tore from the collection, and I'm going to run those along the bottom. Now I did layer up the photo with some vellum from the collection and a few other sheets of paper. And I think I accidentally did that off camera as well. This is a lot harder than it looks, by the way, to remember to turn on your camera. How hard is that? But it is. You just get in the zone and forget. In fact, my first video that I tried to tape, my layout was completely out of screen, so I couldn't even use it. Second layout, I thought I pressed record and didn't. So this is my third attempt, and so far so good, I guess, except for the voiceover. If you can hear my dog barking in the background, I'm so sorry, because I have had to lock them out of my scrap room because they would be driving me crazy. So here I go. I'm layering up the strips along the bottom, and once I get those down, then I kind of feel like I've got this. I have a direction. So I put the photo down, I matted it with some foam to give it a little bit of dimension, and then I'm going to start to embellish. I decided to use one of those acetate tags in that melon color, and I ended up inking around all of the clouds with some of that blue distress ink to tie those in and just to ground those a little bit. And if you notice around the photo, I used a transparency that is like one of those photo overlays. And I don't know what collection it was from, but it's from my stash. And so I decided to tie that in. I would cut a little piece of it and put it up in the top left corner, and that's where I would build another one of my clusters. So I layered up some clouds, layered them over that transparency, and started building a cluster up there. Now, I didn't have many embellishments for this collection. I had some frames, the clouds, and the acetate tags, and that was it. So I had to kind of pull from my stash to add something, and when in doubt, you always can add stars or hearts. That's my go-to. When I don't have any embellishments that really go with a paper line, I tend to add cameras or stars or hearts because they go with everything, right? So here we go. Let's see where I'm at here. I think this is now where I start pulling out some of the stars to start embellishing on the two clusters. Now I did two big clusters, one in the upper left, one in the bottom right where the title is going to be, and then a very small one to the left of the photo. And that one just to get your eye to move to that side of the page. So once I get all of the stars down, I found an anchor, like a gold puffy, no, it's not puffy, it's a foam anchor, and I think that was from the Atlas collection that I pulled from my stash to use there. And so I pulled some of the hearts from that collection as well to kind of spread that gold around the page, and then added eventually, I don't know if I added it yet, I'm going to add a gold arrow, which is going to be part of that left bottom cluster, along with some puffy hearts from Elle Studio and some puffy stars that I believe are Cartabella, maybe? I want to say Cartabella. I got them at Tuesday Morning, so I think that's where they're from. So I'm going to go ahead and get everything laid down. I typically will lay everything out, not really adhere it until I know that I really like it, and then I'll go back and lay those down. And the clouds, I did put those up on foam tape as well. And one thing I wanted to make sure is that I connected all of the clouds in some way so that they felt grounded to something and grounded to a cluster. So the 3 clouds up in the left, I made sure that they were overlapping just slightly. And then the clouds down by the title, I did that the same. Nothing wrong with doing it the other way and scattering them, but I was just trying to focus on 3 clusters on this one rather than having random embellishments throughout the page, because had I done that, I think your eye would go crazy with all of the mixed media, spreading stuff around on top of a bunch of mixed media. I think your eye has trouble knowing where to land. So if you group things in more of a cluster, I think it helps to move your eye around and still enjoy that mixed media color in the background. So I think I'm adding my title here shortly, and title is going to say Amazing Day with Friends. And gosh, I'm trying to figure out what else I can tell you about this layout. I hope you're enjoying the video so far. If you are, I would love a thumbs up, and please subscribe if you would like to see more. I do have several videos filmed, just trying to get them edited and get a voiceover done for them, and then hopefully I'll have those up shortly on my channel as well. So I would love any comments. I know there's those of you out there who've been doing this a long time, and any hints or tricks that you can share with me, any constructive criticism that anyone would like to share in the comments, it is greatly appreciated, because I'm so new at this. I've been wanting to do it for a long time, but I couldn't take the step. And with some encouragement from a bunch of the ladies that I met at Heather's Crafty Life, her retreat, Christina Sorich and Heather and Dolly and Sarah Scraps, I decided to take the plunge and see if I could do this. So I know my page is a little bit off at times, and the lighting isn't really the greatest, but this is where I'm starting, and hopefully it will just get better from here. We will see. And hopefully I'll be able to inspire you and teach some of my tricks and teach some things that I've learned in watching YouTube videos and doing this over the years. So sorry I've gotten so off topic here, but I'm just finishing up my title there, and it's going to be towards the end of the video here shortly. Thank you so much for watching. There are some still shots at the end, and I hope you enjoyed the video and come back to see more. Have a great night.